Life is too short to have a business that makes you feel average, that does not serve your real life. And that you have to remember no amount of money is worth sacrificing what you want for your real life and how it serves your real life.
Welcome to Manage Chaos Podcast, where we give you the startup business rundown in less time than it takes for you to get to work.
Welcome to Manage Chaos Podcast. I am joined today on our third episode in a 4-part series with Faith Morris. Faith is the strategic second brain who shows up with a whiteboard, a plan, and a snack, and will somewhat lovingly call out your 94 tab chaos, but help co-create the infrastructure that finally makes your business feel exciting again. And I think that word exciting is so important, Faith.
Yes. Life is too short to have a business that makes you feel average, that does not serve your real life. And that you have to remember no amount of money is worth sacrificing what you want for your real life and how it serves your real life.
Exactly. And so speaking of real life, you're a mom of 2. You co-run a masonry business and you help 7-figure founders scale. You have explicitly stated that you build operations that work in real life, not just idealized versions on paper, which is something you and I are very much aligned on. So where do most SOPs go wrong when they hit the reality of that chaotic Tuesday with 7 fires burning?
People forget they have a real life that needs attending. People forget they have limits. The number one thing that I see in conversation with founders that come to me and have all these dreams and aspirations or all these things they want to do, they do not recognize their limits. Limits are not bad, but they exist. And you have to, 1, recognize your limits, 2, accept your limits, and then 3, build a business that suits those limits, and then 4, still dream about next chapters when maybe your limits change. So example, I am a mom of 2. I have a 4 and 5-year-old. When we started our masonry business, my husband and I, which is an in-person service-based local business, and my operational business, my kids were 2 and 3, 3 and 4. I am still in a season of small kids. Whether you like it or not, children are a limit, especially small children. I very, very early on recognized I have this limit. And just for context, because context is important, my children are in full-time care during the day. So I'm not a stay-at-home mom. I have a village that looks after them 8 hours a day, and I'm running 2 businesses. They are still a limit. Why? Because they have needs. They get sick. My day shuts off at a certain time because I have to pick them up. Children that drain your battery in ways I cannot explain in the same way your business does. Children are a limit. That's okay. It's not good or bad, but I'm in a season of really small kids where that is a need that exists, which means no, I cannot be flying across the world to speak on stages. I have a lot of colleagues going to really cool conferences across the country, which is amazing. But I'm running another business that's in season right now, and I have small kids. So the logistics of going to the 5 conferences my friends are going to is unrealistic. Could I maybe make 1? Absolutely, with a lot of forward planning that I literally just did not do this year. People forget that the limits aren't good or bad, but when you start to build a business that is outside the scope of your real life, you're wondering why you're miserable in real life. You have to build a business that has non-negotiables. And the problem is that people start building without non-negotiables, and so then it's really hard to reel it back in. And people are so scared to try things because they think their clients won't take it. When I built my ops diagnostic, I was like, I have to give them access, like to me Monday to Friday. There's just no way people are going to be okay with a 1 day a week. Guess what, everybody? It's okay. I started my business. I was having meetings all scattered throughout the week, Monday to Friday. And then I really quickly realized I hate this because I'm doing so much context switching. It was just a mess. So what I do, hard stop, change my entire schedule. If you want to talk to me, it happens on a Tuesday or a Thursday, including client calls. And it only happens between 10 and 2 o'clock. That's it. So we have to build these non-negotiables that serve our life so that we can have a business that we love because it serves us.
So once you've created sort of the procedures on how you want things handled when you're not necessarily in the business, how do you adjust them? How often do you go back and you take a look at them and say, okay, maybe this doesn't need to be as rigidly followed, or we've had an adjustment based off of something that's happened?
I do it every 6 months, rarely quarterly, but I would say every 6 months. You have to give things enough time to breathe, to see, did this work? Did this not work? And 6 months is a really good period of time for like operational things that you put into place to be like, all right, as a team, or as I do it with my husband, like the two of us, how has this system worked? This has actually worked really well. Or, okay, this still needs tweaking, but you also have to give things enough time to try. Everybody hates giving time. And I say it's the same thing with marketing. We see all the visibility happening all the time. You have to do something consistently for 3 months minimum marketing wise to see if it even works. But everybody's impatient. Everybody. 6 months is a really good, healthy time. Put it on your calendar. Evaluate new meeting schedule.
I love that. And I think 6 months is really the right amount of time because, again, like you said, if you do it too early, you haven't been able to see the effects of it yet. And if you wait too long, then everyone will just abandon things before you evaluate it.
Always going to be things you see right away, right? That you're like, oh God, I hated that. And those are okay. I'm talking about some big operational changes that will help shift you either out of the business into being able to have those creative days you dream about. You have to give things time.
So how do you design an operational system around how the founder actually thinks and works rather than trying to force them into, I guess, what everyone calls the rigid corporate framework that they will inevitably abandon?
I always start with the dream. Everybody has a dream for the life they want. And it can be as simple as, I just want to be able to walk my dog in the middle of the day and not have them in doggy daycare. And then you have someone like me where I was like, all I want is to be able to go to Australia for the winter, US winter, and work and have our masonry business booked for when we get back. And then you have somebody else who's like, I want to be able to pick up my kids at 3. And somebody else who says, I want to retire my husband. Everybody's dreams are so different. But that dream and what you want to live ultimately pulls out your values without you even knowing it. Oh, you want to walk your dog in the afternoon, but then after you walk your dog, you just want to be able to sit down and get into your creative mode and shoot content because you love shooting content, but you feel like you never have a space to do it because you're go, go, go. So you really value creative content that comes spontaneously and not scheduled. All of that comes out when we start with the dream because your dreams ultimately drip your values, and your values is what runs your business and runs your life.
So many times I've been out with the dog and you get the random ping on Slack or the random phone call and you're like, I just want to enjoy my dog and be out here.
The amount of people that feel like they have to be efficient in everything, like go on the treadmill and engage in their content. And I have those days, right? Like today I was on the boardwalk and I was doing all my LinkedIn engagement. But then I went for my swim and then I'll go back to the beach and I will be on Do Not Disturb. I'm not looking to be efficient while I'm at the beach. It's actually downtime for me. But if I choose to respond to that, or I choose to have my notifications on, that is a full me problem, not having boundaries, not having structure in place for me to not answer those things. And for some people, like they need a brick, or they literally physically need to take off their Apple Watch and leave it at home. And I encourage people to do that if you don't have self-control.
The self-control, yeah. What is the key to writing an execution plan or an SOP that your team can actually follow from start to finish without having to ping you on Slack 5 times for clarification? How do you minimize the questions?
You minimize question by starting to record. I like to tell people your business could have 5 million SOPs. My business could have 12 million, but you have to start somewhere. And a really good place to start is get on a Loom or Zoom clips or get into Claude and just start word development. Like we have so many incredible tools, but you do it while you're doing something you're already getting paid to do. So I think people think, okay, I got to spend all this other separate time to do it. No, you don't. Example, a new client comes on and as the founder, you're always doing the discovery call, but you're bringing on maybe an assistant or somebody to do that call and then onboard them. You're going to record that discovery call, how you go about it. Then you're going to literally record the onboarding process, whether that's with Scribe, which is an AI tool, screen record, etc., whatever, but you're doing it while someone's already paying you to do it. And then you chuck all that in AI. We just have so many tools, but we think we need all this separate time to do it. You don't. Just do it live and do it one at a time, right? Everybody's got to do all these SOPs. No. Start with the biggest issue. What's the number one most annoying question your team is asking you? That's where you start. That's literally where you start. And sometimes SOPs aren't these crazy videos. Literally, just put it in 3 sentences in a Word document. Because you also want to be able to walk away to say, I gave you that information. So if this person is still asking that in 3 months, that's like a performance review situation. Have a folder. Again, it doesn't need to be rocket science. SOP folder. Great. Just start. Some of my SOPs in my business are Word documents with Loom clips in them. Some of them are full written. Mine vary, but they're all in this little folder that are accessible.
One of the things I did that really helped me, it was actually for a client. I created a custom GPT because they're using chat, and I trained it on all the ways that I would think about things, how I would make decisions, like how I would answer questions, all the kind of documentation. When my husband and I went on a trip in February, I said, I just want you to ask the questions that you would ask to me while I'm on vacation, ask to this custom GPT, right? And in some cases, a GPT would say, you have the authority to make this decision on your own. Here's what you should do. Or it would say, okay, this needs to be managed up. This is who you should contact while she's out, right? It also helped them feel more empowered because they're a fairly junior team. And so it helped them to say, okay, I put it in the custom GPT and it told me I have the right to do this. And so now I feel like I've been given approval to do this, but without having to Slack or text me.
That would be a really cool teaching people, founders, how to do that, because you have to spend time in one area to save time in an area long term. Yes, setting up a GBT is a lot of work and takes time, or you're going to pay somebody to do it. But I'm seeing it a lot in the coaching spaces where they have these coaching GBT that are in their frameworks that for in between mentoring when the coaches aren't available or something, which is amazing. I've never really thought about it in that founder space of like, hey guys, this is for you while I'm away. That's really cool. You should totally do a training on that. How long did it take you to make?
It depends on how well you have the documentation, because you have to be able to show it your decision framework. You need to know that part about yourself. So if you know all that information and you have it readily available, it doesn't take that long. But if you don't have that documentation, sitting down and thinking through how would I make this decision, or what is the trade-offs that I would take into consideration, it's going to be a little bit harder.
Okay, got it. Still, I think it's brilliant.
I think the main takeaway here is that obviously SOPs can be reevaluated. They should be reevaluated, but you should consider your whole life when you're setting up what the processes look like. And also not being afraid to set boundaries and stick to them.
Yes. And also change. It's okay that things have to change or evolve, or maybe that SOP is garbage now. It's okay.
Just get started. Thank you for joining this episode of Managed Chaos Podcast. Please like, follow, and subscribe to us wherever you get your podcasts, and we will see you on the next episode.
Outsourcing your US tech talent shouldn't be hard. With Pobble.io, we deliver high-quality teams on demand and provide huge cost savings to your business. Try it now at Pobble.io. Mention the amazing guys at Managed Chaos when you email us and get a free market data report. Email contact@Pobble.io.